the legend of Dan Gable.
My gold medal, all America, AU, none of them have gold medal except Mr. Kurt Angle and Aaron Sheikh. Because
You suck, Teddy Bears.
you suck, Dusty Rose. You suck, Randy Savage. You suck, Billboard. You suck, Andre Joy. You suck, Fabulous Moolah. You suck, Jim Robbins. You suck,
Skinny bastard.
you suck, Hulk Hogan. You suck, his puppet Jimmy Hart. You suck, son of a bitch. Break your rag. Hot with a beer bottle.
Fuck your ass.
You don't rock it. Break your rag. You're the man.
Fuck your ass.
I'm the master. Break your...
You think you know me. On this day, I see clearly. You all didn't know I could sing. Now you know.
That's the breaks, little man. Break it down.
Yeah.
I can't sing. I just impersonate.
You're the guy with the rhymes. I'm the guy with the melody, and that's how we come to you. It is Legend of Wrestling podcast episode
Cuatro.
for life.
For life.
Yo, that was the best. I thought the NWO theme, like the what does it say? It was like
What the vignettes? The following announcement
Yeah.
has been paid for by the New World Order. New World Order.
What was the original artist for that song? Isn't it
I have no idea.
because it was fire.
Are
I
you
know.
talking about the original NWO song, or are you talking about Hulk Hogan's
No, Hogan's was
Voodoo Child.
Yeah, Voodoo Child. Yeah.
Hendrix? Best heel theme song in the history of world wrestling.
Yeah.
Hands down. I dare anyone to challenge me on that.
Amazing. They spent so much money on music just for the company to go down. It was great.
Just on that song alone, the licensing was crazy.
Insane.
I don't know what the numbers were, but it was insane. Anyway,
We are here. We're
Legends
here.
of Wrestling.
Legend of Wrestling.
Legend of Wrestling, yes. But we are legends.
Couple of legends in the making. Episode 4. If you didn't know, now you know. And we are talking about all things going into Survivor Series from the WWE and the AEW debacles that took place this week on Dynamite and Collision.
But before we do that, we got to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. Without these 3 things, we can't get this show further off the ground than it already is. And without the support of you people, we can't continue to give you what you want. And that is news on more professional wrestling.
That's right. That's right. So don't be a jabroni. Hit the subscribe or he will find you.
Or break your back, make you humble.
You heard that.
Yeah.
So, Paul White is back. What's going on with that? Let's start from the end and go backwards.
Okay.
Paul White, no more BS, right?
No more BS.
No more BS. He's getting challenged by Don Callis or Cyrus, formerly known as.
Oh, God, don't mention that name.
You love Cyrus.
No, I do not. I have no love for Cyrus. But that is a totally different story. I wish that man would have stayed buried in AEW. No, but seriously, he's doing incredible heel work in AEW.
Yeah.
I do like his heel work, all jokes aside. And he's being challenged by Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah, what do we think of that? Is the new Don Callis family? Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, I think it's called the Don Callis family. I don't know if they incorporated new,
Yeah.
but it's definitely the Don Callis family.
Don Callis is for a Canadian who, as a country, is very underpopulated. He has a big family. He's got many people that have come and gone through that family, you know? Starting with the Omega, Jericho himself, and then you had, now they're against him, and now you got Powerhouse Hobbs. Who's the other dude? We don't even know. We got to figure it out.
Well, it's a big step up from the oddities from the WWE.
That's fair. That is fair. You're right. You're right. And if you watched Collision this week, some fan called him a hot dog. And now we and now
Does look like a hot dog.
and now I can't unsee that. That is
I can't either.
Yeah.
He literally looks like the wiener inside the Wiener Schnitzel.
That's right.
The Wiener Schnitzel hot dog. Oh man. The Oscar Mayer weenie.
I think his tanning bed kind of He like fell asleep in there, and it was on for like
No, it's
one.
his head shape too. It's like there's no like curvature when it's going down. It's like
Yeah.
straight with the bald head like this. It's like the head of a hot dog.
Yeah, he's like every Sims character of a bald man. But anyway, that's happening. I really enjoyed Paul White's commentary and his shift in demeanor, going from a calm announcer and calling he's doing the commentary as Shivani was doing the play-by-play. And then after the match, after Hobbs wins, Don Callis comes in, cuts a promo, and calls out Paul White. He says, "I'm not scared of giants," or some along these lines. To which then he says Hobbs is going
He
to
buried two giants.
He buried two
He didn't
giants.
have a problem letting Hobbs bury a third.
bury a third, right? So a little fun bonus: who were the other two giants that he buried?
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments. And are they still buried like Cyrus? Good callback, Cyrus. I got no problem with you, but you know it is what it is. Cyrus the Great was good though.
Yeah, I'll give him a pass.
Yeah. So, Hobbs throws the little covering of the announce table at Paul White, to which Paul White masterfully switched up to fighting mode and stood up, and he said something along the lines of "Make my day." He's like, "Come get it." I think Paul White, angry Paul White. I liked him as the Giant in WCW when he would snap. That was a very believable character, and he did a little bit of that as the Big Show in WWE as well, but obviously just like WWE does with most mean characters other than the Undertaker, even with him they did it to a degree. When they come from another company, they love to water them down to a human level, and that's why I wasn't as crazy about the Big Show runs. But as a Paul White, I'm all in. You see what I did there?
Oh, God. You with the puns.
Yeah.
But yes, Paul White, Big Show, Giant, whatever you want to call him. No more BS. Did a great job. I like him on commentary. by
You
the
think
way.
he's got
I do
another-
actually like him
He does
in
do
a
well,
career
yeah.
in commentary.
100%.
Him
Do you think- yeah.
going part-time every once in a while is good as well because he can still go, but I do like him in commentary. He's made a good transition.
You think he's got another world title run in him?
I don't know.
He never had it in WWE, but
That's really up to him because, people that size, their body only goes for so long,
That's
with
fair.
that gigantism.
that's right. Well, he got surgery for that. Yeah.
Yes, he
yeah.
had surgery for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the pressure that you put on your knees and
Yeah.
the amount of weight that you carry around just being that big is.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll live longer for sure because of the surgery, but the wear and tear that he's done with the body this size, it probably did a number on him. It just depends if he could go. If he could go and he could really manage to get up and wrestle, for one more run, put together a few months, maybe.
Because I don't know if he ever had a retirement match.
I think he's got it in him, though.
That's-
Because,
yeah.
believe it or not, he's in some of the best shape he's been in since he debuted in WCW.
Yeah, he'd shed a lot of weight.
Yeah, he's actually pretty fit for
Yeah.
his size and his age.
Yeah.
Considering how much weight he put on over
Right.
the years.
Yeah.
He shed a lot. So I think he does have one more run in him if he wants it. He is a giant, so he probably wouldn't also have to take as many bumps in regards to his character. Yeah, maybe he's got one more run in him.
I think so. Now, my real question is, what does the legend himself, Iron Sheik, think of No More BS Paul White?
Fuck the Paul White! You're fucking jabroni like a Andre Giant, and I fucking beat the fuck out of you with one of my little finger. You're fucking giant piece of shit, no good motherfucker. I break your back with a camel clutch. You think you're the man? Come show me.
Wow. All right. Paul White, you have been challenged by Shiki Baby.
From the grave.
From the grave. Much respect to the real legend, Iron Sheik. We're honoring him with the best impersonator of Sheik on this side of the planet and on the other side. Nobody can touch him.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah, jabroni. A dream match we never got to see, obviously, was even in the same ring, we never got to see them. the Giant and Andre the Giant at the same time. We never got to see that.
Well, two different generations.
Two different generations, but obviously the comparisons were always there. There was even a rumor back in WCW that he was his illegitimate son or something like that.
That was really dumb.
I remember that.
That was just something that I'm pretty sure Hogan concocted. I have much respect for Hulk Hogan. You know what a mark I was for him.
Yeah.
What I kind of am, but I'm not afraid to call out his bullshit when his bullshit is bullshit. And a lot of things Hulk Hogan says is really questionable. A lot of things that he is called in his time in sports entertainment is ridiculous. And I don't know. In his words, that's not going to work for me, brother.
Yeah. I turned more Randy Savage on that. Yeah, dig it.
Speaking of AEW, by the way.
Yeah, speaking of which, tell me.
Big news this week.
Yeah.
Ric Flair. Woo! The Nature Boy.
Woo, 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 woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just signed a 2-year contract with AEW. And there are two big points to cover about this contract.
Tell me.
Number one, so it's a 2-year deal, and not only did he get Ric Flair to make appearances in and outside the ring in whatever capacity, because we still don't know yet. He did get cleared to wrestle.
No, please.
Yeah, they cleared him to wrestle.
No.
Now, we don't know if he'll do that yet, but they've also teased that he may do a might quit with MJF at some point, which I think would be interesting, at least quipping with the insults. I don't know about wrestling, though. I think he should have retired
He already
two
did.
retirements ago.
Yeah.
But the exclusive deal, the points of the deal is obviously that he's available in and outside the ring, which inside the ring doesn't necessarily mean wrestling. He could be, getting in there as a manager. He could
Yes.
get in there and do promos and put over other wrestlers with his promos. And then there's the other one. He actually has a deal similar to Randy Savage and Slim Jim, in which energy drink is now the official energy drink of AEW for the next 2 years.
Okay. All right. That I'm with. I'm with that. I'm happy for the Nate to, if you can get the bag, get the bag. But please, you already retired 3 times. Let's not do it a 4th, because the 3rd one, we all know what happened.
The saggy titties are not flattering anymore. Flair.
Listen, I'm not even mad at the body. I'm not mad at his
Well,
shape.
he's old. No one's mad at
Yeah.
the body, but I mean, still.
Yeah, and don't mix it with Jesse the body. I'm talking about Ric Flair's deteriorating body as a 70-year-old man. 76? How old is he now? 70?
He's definitely in his somewhere.
He's in
his
70s. Listen, nothing can tarnish your legacy, but we just want you to be healthy, man. And
I want to know what doctor cleared him. Seriously, I want to know what doctor cleared him.
yeah.
Because this guy literally was in a hospital how many months ago?
Well, he had his retirement. Well, that's true.
Well, that's showing you he was near on the brink of death.
Yeah.
They were worried this guy was actually going to die.
But this
he comes back and now they cleared him to get in a damn ring?
Yeah.
I mean, Ric Flair, I ain't mad at you, but seriously, I want to know what doctor that is. I want to go and get some prescriptions from that doctor.
And also, has he cut back significantly on drinking? Because that was the biggest cause of it. I think he has. If he has, great. Let him live out the rest of his legendary life in peace. He can be in wrestling. I'm not saying don't be in it. Just management, the drink deal is great. All of that. Commentary, I'd love that. You can even do something like you did with Fortune as the manager. That's cool. But
well, the problem with that, and I agree with you, but the problem with that is Ric Flair. Ric Flair himself actually lives that limousine riding, jet flying.
yeah. But he's calmed down, I think. Since the ESPN 30 for 30 on him, he's really calmed down. Because he...
Calm down for Ric Flair is turned up for most people.
for sure it is.
So it's still not that great in terms of physical health. But I'm just saying, I think that's the problem. I think Ric Flair doesn't know what to do with himself outside of the ring. When you leave him alone to his vices, he ends up becoming, the man that wants you to ride Space Mountain, the oldest ride in the park, but you still...
Right. he lives the gimmick. He that's him. There is no gimmick there. That is Ric Flair.
He's not Hogan. Hogan doesn't mind kicking back. Hogan has a karaoke bar now
Yeah.
that makes money. Hogan has a beach shop that sells merchandise.
Right.
The guy still comes around and gets his bag when he needs to. But
Yeah.
Hogan's fine. Hogan's living his best life right now. He always wasn't. I mean, but ever since he
He
got
also
his money
can't.
back,
He also barely can walk anymore. Hogan, with all the back surgeries and the leg problems that he has, did one too many leg drops. But
actually, that's what he said on the podcast.
Yeah.
He said that if he could change one thing and tell his younger self not to do that, is to change his finisher
Yeah.
and not do the leg drop.
but that's yeah. I think Austin to a degree had some back issues too because of the stunner.
Back and knee.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the drop and falling on his ass every time.
Well, it didn't help that he also suffered that botched tombstone pile
Yes,
driver by
yes.
Owen Hart. He already had problems,
Yeah.
and then that just nixed his career and cut it in not even half. I think it would be a quarter of what would have been a
100%.
very successful
100%, 100%. I did.
Shout out to Stone Cold.
Stone
by the
Cold.
way.
I will say I did love his one-off with Kevin Owens. If there was any opponent from today that was the perfect opponent for Austin, that was him. Kevin Owens really pushed that angle, and I think he carried that match. KO carried that match.
Well, it's not a matter of Stone Cold could go or not. He's actually being cleared. He can go.
Yeah,
Stone Cold doesn't want to go.
yeah,
Stone Cold actually came to terms a long time ago with the fact that
right.
he did not want to risk further injury to himself and live life as a crippled old man.
There's a very short
he's-
shelf life on this
Yeah.
career.
And he made the smart transition. He's done pretty well for himself. But that's
Ric Flair, take notes, please.
Yes.
Yeah, don't get in the ring again. Your last match, as hard as it was to watch, there was still a semblance of poetry in there with Jay Lethal. It was a great opponent to finish your career on. You made a whole short film out of it. Just leave it.
And please don't do what you said that you were going to do or thinking about what you're going to do and try to go and have some sort of retirement with Sting.
Oh man,
Please.
Well,
I mean, Sting's got something left in his tank, but he needs to go in a retirement match with an opponent that really needs to be put over.
yeah.
Step
I-
aside, give
yeah.
the man some shine.
We thought you did that with Shawn Michaels back in 2008. No, that was your retirement match.
that was his real retirement
Yeah,
match.
that
and then he
was.
went on to have matches that should never
Oh
happen.
man, it was just there's so much to it too. Aside from his health, like Angle alone, the storyline with Michaels and Flair, the "I'm sorry, I love you" before the chin music.
It was the perfect ending.
It was the perfect ending, and him crying at the end, like that was it, man. That was.
Ric Flair, we implore you, do not have another retirement.
With that said, we're happy
I mean,
you're
have
back.
another retirement. Yeah, make this your retirement.
Yeah.
Don't get in the ring again.
Yes.
I should rephrase that.
Yes.
But somebody who does need to get back in the ring and is being rumored. Let's move over to the WWE side of
Oh,
things.
snappity snap!
There were updates on the WWE website. Some pretty interesting ones. Yep.
Who are we talking about?
CM Punk.
Can you believe it? It took all but Vince losing all power for CM Punk to find interest in WWE again.
Well, again, they're teasing this. They've been teasing this by having other people do the GTS for a while now in in-ring matches in the WWE. It's still not
Wow,
confirmed.
I haven't thought about that side of it. The subliminal stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Subliminal stuff is something that we'll get into later in regards to some other stuff that we talked about and finally came to culmination on SmackDown this week.
Yes.
But sticking to CM Punk for a second, CM Punk has been teased, and the alumni section has been updated, I believe.
Yes, they have.
And we're all about this much confirmed. It's just a little bit more that CM Punk is going to be returning in some capacity. Now, will it be a Survivor Series?
I mean,
that we don't know. But
if it doesn't happen at Survivor Series with all of the hardcore Punk fans in Chicago, I just feel like they're robbing of the opportunity to get the pop that he needs. If there's anywhere else he would pop up, you honestly might hear some boos because of how he left AEW. So it's got to be in his hometown. And again, we got Pratik if you go to that show, we're gonna have you on. Whether you go or not, actually, you're getting on. He's gonna be our guest.
Our brother Patique will be
Yeah.
in Chicago.
Yes, our fellow wrestling enthusiast. But man, yeah, it's got to be Chicago. It's got to be Survivor Series.
I mean, I could see them.
And it builds enough of a time frame for him to have that. If it is his last run, have that final run to culminate at Mania and finish it off. If he already says he had the main event versus Taker at 29, but we know. He's got to have one officially.
Well, he knows that wasn't the main event because he himself said, even though that was the match,
it wasn't the last match.
Him,
yeah.
They sold that to him as the main event, but in reality, he wanted that last headlining match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll get it. I, for one, didn't want to see Punk leave AEW to begin with.
Me neither.
But
me neither.
Things happen.
Yeah.
We've moved on from that. Hopefully the WWE and CM Punk have moved on from their past digressions, and we can get one more last storybook run from CM Punk moving forward. But I'm hoping for the best.
Everyone knows it's no secret. I'm a Punk head. I've been a Punk head since summer of Punk 2011. I was a Punk head before that, even when he was in ECW, the WWE version anyway. I liked him as part of the Straight Edge Society. That's
right. You straight edgers stick together, don't you?
Honestly, I didn't know much about Straight Edge until I learned about CM and I learned about his angle. And I thought it was just, at first, I thought it was just a thing WWE created. But no, it's an actual movement. And it was a musical genre before it became a lifestyle choice.
And now it's your lifestyle.
It is. It was always. I just switched the name to it. Before that, I don't drink, smoke, or do any vice. I don't have any vices. But not the real reason why I'm a Punk fan. I think the real reason I'm a Punk fan is that he is the anti-hero. And I've always been a fan of the anti-hero.
Yeah, well, I have some vices, so.
Are we calling back to Britsburg? Is that what we're talking about? Brittany.
I would like to take a trip to Britsburg.
Yeah.
If you hear me, this man will not let it go. I'm pretty sure I'm going to hear more about it until you appear on the show. Please, come on.
He's capitalizing because your man is injured. Are you nursing that ankle? Well, you could have Uncle Sheik right here.
Oh, God. Listen, Britt, just come on the show, please.
Britt Baker, we would love to have you on the show. I used to be married to a dental worker, so I would have some actually dental questions.
Yeah, I definitely respect someone that can juggle both professions.
100%.
Especially two that are so vastly different from each other.
Absolutely.
So nurse Adam Cole back to health. Keep his ass away from Roderick Strong, the cuck. And
Kingdom, huh? That's the
hopefully
Kingdom.
When he's back to health, good health, I should say, you can come on show as well. Not this show, but yes, come on this show as well. But please get back on TV. Where are you?
Yeah.
I need to take a trip to Britsburg, okay?
That's right. Weapon is speaking it into existence.
Yes.
What is so that as now the audience knows, Weapon's celebrity crush / pro wrestling crush.
Wrestling crush.
Wrestling crush. Yeah.
For the moment.
And that is not a work.
Shamelessly.
That is a shoot, as they say. I don't know. I get your likings of Britt Baker. I understand it.
It's one of respect.
Yeah, of course. It comes from a good place.
No, it really is.
Yeah. It's not like a high school crush. It's more so a real man, right?
We're gonna stick on this.
No, I'm kidding.
But seriously,
yeah.
So it was CM Punk, Survivor Series.
CM Punk
you
is a
think-
Britt Baker fan, by the way. He was a big supporter of her career.
Oh God, here we go.
No. As a wrestler, just a professional relationship. He appreciated her wrestling
Well,
run
I knew that.
as
I
the
mean, he's
champ.
married
As the
to
champ,
AJ.
of course. AJ Lee, AJ. I guess is it Phillips? I don't know if she took the last name, or
But-
AJ Brooks. Sorry,
But yeah, no. If he wasn't Survivor Series, the only other way I could see it work because of the cameos is maybe Royal Rumble. But again, the only other question I have about CM Punk is whether or not they're going to put him in a good angle coming back and how they're going to transition him. I guess those are two questions, but
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to bring him back. Excuse me. I don't want them to bring him back and him to be stuck in some sort of really crappy storyline.
Punk, well, I don't think Punk will do that. I think Punk is going to have a lot more of control on where things go.
I think he might kick back a little bit more too because he's still trying to mend those fences.
Do you think he's understanding now of like where he may have slipped a little bit?
It just all depends on where he's at in life and how he's matured. I
But
mean,
that's the
I
thing.
think Trips has matured
100%.
a whole lot.
Well, Trips and Punk have mended their issues. So a lot of the stuff that happened back in 2011 through 2013 on the air was it was taking that fourth wall. It was breaking that fourth wall a little bit, right? You know, the promo of all promos, the Summer of Punk that kicked it off. That was all real. He even said, "You may think this place is going to get better once his stupid son-in-law takes over, but nope." He said it. He said it directly to Triple H. He's like, he's just what do he call him? He said he's just going to continue to play the same stupid games or something along those lines. Everybody knows which promo I'm talking about. But no, they're on much better terms now. So we'll see what happens with Punk. Let us know where you think Punk's return is going to be and in what capacity. Is he going to play a manager role or is he getting back in the ring there?
and what angles you'd like to see him in and what wrestlers you'd like to see
I
him
hope he doesn't come back
wrestle.
as a manager role because everybody knows he can go, and he's still at the tail end of his prime, so he can still carry
I mean,
him.
look at what he did at Wembley.
Oh, to have your last match in a company to be that, yeah, in front of 75,000 people.
Even though I'm pretty sure he didn't expect that was going to be his last.
Of
match
course.
at the time.
Well, that fight broke out before he went out. So
Yeah, but did he really expect that he was going to get fired?
I think once he put his hand on Tony, I think he knew the writing's on the wall. Listen, Ultimate Warrior got fired for just demanding money before he went out. So to put your hand on a owner, no. He knew he fucked up.
Well, that reminds me of when Nails assaulted Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
But that was old school. For
That's
those
right.
That don't know.
That's right.
But okay, so moving on to that, we're still on the WWE. Excuse me, I'm the Michael Cole now today. I'm literally Michael Cole today.
Oh shit. He's
But at least I can say Arabic.
well, of course you could, and he couldn't. So tell me the next news item from this week.
The first match for Survivor Series / War Games has been announced.
I like how they're calling it two things, and they're not calling it just Survivor Series that happens to have that match as a feature, right? They're calling the entire premium live event. They're starting to call it Survivor Series War Games. So like it's like the subtitle to the pay-per-view. Premium live event. God damn
They
it.
go hand in hand, though. You gotta admit, even though it was never intentional because War Games belonged to a totally different company at
Fair.
the time, and they
Yeah.
retained the name because they retained the rights.
Yeah.
Think about it. Survivor Series,
Mm-hmm.
War Games. What do you do in war? You survive. You know, it's
Yeah.
a Survivor Series, man. It is the perfect two things to go together. I like that. I like how they're combining that, just like you said. So
Well, they started War Games in NXT initially, right? That's where it
no, War Games was initially in WCW.
No. I'm saying when they brought it back.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. The NXT brought
And I
back.
still think they're going to use it in NXT matches.
Now that's the thing, right? So we'll have a prediction episode on Survivor Series closer to the actual event, probably the weekend of.
But just to announce what the match is.
Yeah, go.
So, yeah, I have to look that up because on the face side, it was an amalgamation of different wrestlers that I'm trying. But it is the Judgment Day, I believe.
Yes,
that's going to be facing
Judgment
them.
Day.
You want to see if we can look at
Yeah, Judgment Day.
I believe it's Jey Uso. It's going to be Sami Zayn.
That makes sense because he's vowed to not
Cody. And I believe I'm missing one more. Why am I blanking out today?
Here we go. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, let's see if we can pull that up. I want to get this right.
Courtesy of Cage Side
Seth
Seats.
Rollins.
Seth Rollins. All right. We've got. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Judgment Day versus Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn.
Yes.
Um,
And I believe that the Judgment Day is including the horny chihuahua, JD McDonough.
what?
Because we know mommy's not in
The
this match.
Chihuahua. I love that it has like no actual like. That's gonna be your nickname for this guy for the rest of the time that
The
he's
horny chihuahua?
Yeah. What's he horny about?
I don't know. He's got a hard on for the Judgment Day. He's not even an official member, but every day he's hopping up and trying to wear Damian Priest merchandise. Damian Priest got pissed at him in this episode of Raw. He saw him wearing a Damian Priest shirt, and he was like, "Where'd you buy that?"
Yeah. So he gets turned on by getting judged. But
somebody has a dominatrix factory. I am Michael Cole again today. Jesus. Oh man.
Jesus.
Even when I have to tell a joke, I'm going Michael Cole.
Yeah. So that's the match that's confirmed so far with Survivor Series.
That's
War
what
Games.
I get for claiming. Ugh! That's what I get for getting on Michael Cole's case.
Yes, right. That's right. It ain't that easy, is it? Oh man. So that's Survivor Series. We'll have a full prediction episode on that in the coming weeks. SmackDown. Did you catch it?
SmackDown, yes, I did catch it. I enjoyed SmackDown. SmackDown this week was good.
It was good. I thought it was decent. I thought
And it was unpredictable.
And can I say your prediction is starting to come true with Escobar.
Santos Escobar.
If you guys have not watched the previous episodes where Webb talks about his prediction of Santos Escobar is turning slowly, I love how they're doing it though. Can I say that? I love how the LWO is having like family drama, and they're on the fence. They're on the fence about the turn. Like they're almost trying to keep Escobar from fully turning on Ray.
That's what it looks like.
But he did it. But even after he attacked Ray, after his match, and this was after the opening segment they had with Carlito saying, "Don't blame this on Logan Paul for using the knuckles as the reason you lost your title, the U.S. title. Blame it on
the guy who left the knuckles in the ring."
Santos Escobar, which, as you heard in the last episode, when we did the Crown Jewels reaction, very poorly done. But that's besides the point.
Now we learned why it was poorly done.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a great fan on how it was done, but we know now how they make it make sense.
Yeah.
And
so what happened there now is Escobar gets mad, and he wants to fight Carlito for even insinuating such a thing, and he leaves the ring. To which Ray is telling everybody in the ring, tranquilo. He's telling them to calm down. It's fine.
Tranquilo, have some tequila. Let's forget about it.
Yeah. So Ray follows Santos Escobar out the ring. Fast forward to Ray's match later on in the night, who I think he wrestled. Not even that important, I think, for the sake of what's.
No, it was Carlito that wrestled.
Carlito wrestled. Yes, Carlito wrestled. Bobby Lashley.
Yes.
He wrestles Bobby Lashley. Ray and Santos Escobar.
And the Profits got involved.
Then Ray comes in. Santos doesn't do much.
Well, wait. So let's break it down step by step. So the Prophets and
Bobby.
Bobby are doing a number on him. And Santos stands at the ring apron just staring
Yes,
at them.
that's the part.
And that's when Ray rushes in. And then after that, you have the confrontation about Ray walking up to him saying, "What are you doing?
Yeah, why aren't you helping?
Why aren't you helping?"
Yeah.
And Santos says that Carlito is not family.
Yeah.
And Ray disagrees. He says, "We are family.
Yeah.
We're all family." And then Ray loses it and slaps him in the face.
It was after the fact that so Ray is
he shoved him.
Yeah, Ray is hovering over Carlito, trying to make sure he's cool. To which Escobar steps halfway out the ring, then he stops, comes back in, and then he shoves. He hits Ray. To which then Ray gets up and he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then he slaps Santos.
Then he comes outside the ring.
Yep.
And he tries to apologize to Santos, saying he lost his temper, and that's when Santos full blown.
Yep, and he throws him over the stairs, and his leg gets caught, and then he kicks the stairs into his leg to create the illusion that he's hurting Ray's leg. Then Zelina comes in and says, "What's wrong with you? What are you doing?" And he looks defeated as he's turning on Ray, which I love.
Well, even after he kicked him, remember what he said? He's like, "It was just supposed to be you and me. You were my hero."
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like...
He was conflicted.
And to Zelina, he's like, he started this, and Zelina responds, "No, you started this. You did this." Or along those lines.
No, that's what she said.
Yeah. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way they're doing it. It's not so quick. It's not so predictable, the turn. It's creating a little more... Like, they're slowing it down. Sometimes WWE slows down, and I love it. And
well, that's what I've loved about this whole heel turn that I kept hinting about. It's been happening over time. It's not been happening over a period of 3 weeks just to rush it in at pay-per-view.
Yes.
This has been a slow burn to the point where you didn't even notice the first sign.
No, I didn't notice it the first, or I gave the benefit of doubt. They made it feel like it was a mistake in their delivery. That's how I looked at it. Like, I looked at it.
They didn't know what they wanted to do with the heel turn But they really
But that makes it interesting. Yeah. That makes it gives it life. It gives it a new, fresh energy. So, tell me then, now that we're headed more to an obvious turn, or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll bring him back. They did that with the Judgment Day between Finn and Damian Priest.
But they never went full-blown.
They didn't go full-blown, but that's my point. Are they going to repeat that here, or are they going to let it go all the way?
I think they're going to let this turn go because Ray is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's not got much time left on his career.
Yeah.
And I know that at some point in his career, he's going to want to finish it off with his son. So they're going to have to, like, move into a program.
Yeah.
And probably move on from that before we get to that point.
Yeah.
What I got to say about that is this, like I do, like you said, I did like the heel turn. I like the slow pacing of it. I like how it's still at a stage where people in the LWO don't even really know where they stand.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't turn it into two factions.
Yeah, no, let's not pull NWO.
Either blow the thing up or keep the LWO, but then have one of them lead the faction.
And the fact that Edge is no longer in WWE and he was the starter, like they tried that with Judgment Day a little bit, and then they fixed it, which I'm happy they did. LWO. So you're saying LWO gone, like end it all?
I'm saying either end it all or give one of them the faction. Don't split it up.
Here's my only thing about LWO, because it's so nostalgic and the Eddie Guerrero homage and the.
But remember, it was a heel faction with Eddie Guerrero.
I know.
So that's what I'm saying. Give it to one of them. If you want to give it to Santos and let him lead,
he would be great. Yeah.
Then, he's a young talent. He needs a big push. Let him have a moment to, show the world what he's got. Let him lead a faction. And let him turn it heel. But I'm just saying, don't split it into two, because you already saw what happened when you split factions into two. Look at the NWO.
And could this become something like Bobby Lashley and the Prophets pull one of those guys onto their side, and then they create another match for Survivor Series.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely possible that Santos Escobar joins them. But that's what I'm saying. The LWO would still be intact.
Yeah.
It's just that he would have been defected. I said either keep the faction and give it to one of the guys, or blow it up. Don't split it into two.
Yeah.
It's just no point in that.
So that's what I mean. But it would be Santos leaving the faction as opposed to starting a new one, like a anti-LWO.
Either he goes to the other faction, or he keeps this faction. Ray moves on to bigger storylines.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So speaking of Ray, he asked that he still has unfinished business with Logan Paul, and he called him out, and he said, "Logan, you know what you did, blah blah blah." But here's my thing, and this is kind of as a viewer and seeing the double standards here from the WWE booking and WWE PR. I'm sure you've seen it. Logan Paul has been showing off the US title in all types of ways, including him in the shower with it.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So, as a legend in his own right, the Hurricane used to say, "What's up with that? You gonna do that? You gonna do that? And you're just gonna let him?" And then you also shared that image on WWE television with him covering his genitals with the title, which again, I don't have a problem with it.
Taking a page out of Val Venus's book.
Yeah,
Hello,
Shawn Michaels did it too. Yeah, Michaels did it too, right? Back in the day, with the DX. But
yeah, he did.
But what I'm saying is this: how come you promote this, but then you fired your former NXT champion, Mandy, for doing something similar? Why is there a bias here? And by the way, I choose Mandy obviously over Logan as far as a wrestler is concerned anytime.
We know how you feel about Mandy.
All right, you got me. That's mine. Okay, Mandy, we know you're not in the WWE anymore, so maybe you want to come spill the beans right here on Legend of Wrestling podcast.
Yeah, and then go to AEW. You can kick it with mine. We'll all have a double date.
What about a tag? That's called a tag team right there.
Whoa!
Woo! Speaking but in all seriousness, that is kind of lame that Trips did that. I'm wondering if there was more to it than
Probably
that.
has to do with Endeavor more than anything else.
But she was killing it as the champ. That was one of the better champs.
I'm sure there was other things involved.
But how come they don't say it, or how come that's not publicized? That's
Probably because it's bad for business as Triple H.
Well, this looks pretty bad for business. The fact that they're double standarding.
I mean,
double
it's
standard.
bad in terms of the talent and what message it sends to them. It's good for business in terms of the money it's drawing.
Sure. But
And I told you about this, about how even though I wasn't crazy about Logan Paul being champ, the positives to it. The positives would be like, imagine how much media he would draw to the title. And that's why even if Ray goes after him, I don't see him winning that title. I tell you what, and I'm going to make this prediction right now because I don't like this, but it's better than nothing. I'll take it as a consolation prize. I'm going to say this right now. Logan Paul versus L.A. Knight at WrestleMania.
that's where you see it going
That's where I see it going.
for the title.
Because
So
that's
he's
the
keeping
only-
it for that long.
Because that's the only person I can see beating him. It's not because I'm an LA Knight fan. It's because that's the only person right now in the company I could see beating him that could benefit from the rub and the push. Everybody else is kind of like they're on the latter parts of their career and they wouldn't get a real pop from winning anything, or they're too green.
So tell me this. Is that wasting the potential that is LA Knight right now?
I feel absolutely, but at the same time, I would rather LA Knight get a WrestleMania moment and have a title than to languish on at the bottom mid card, or to be at the top mid card for a year and for them to have said, you know what, we gave this guy his shot, he's aging now, time to cut him loose. At least this keeps him in the picture, because that title now is slowly becoming a little bit more prestigious again.
Yeah.
If he holds on to that, it's his key to getting back into the title picture.
Hmm.
So I'll accept it as a consolation prize. Do I like that direction? No. I want to see LA Knight back in the main event of WrestleMania. But I just see that from a company standpoint, the direction that they might take it in.
Okay, we shall see if you're right.
We shall see. I've been making some pretty good predictions.
Yeah, I see that. It's not a prediction. If it happens, it's a spoiler.
It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
Man. Okay, cool. So you see LA not going there. I think if they want to give a lesser title to LA Knight, other than the World Championship or the WWE Universal, I'd probably go IC. Because the IC title right now, it would have been a much bigger win because it's Gunther. And also, he hasn't lost, really, Gunther.
I agree with that. The only reason I would not go in that... Well, I wouldn't say I wouldn't go that direction. Sorry. I would agree with that direction. Except I don't see LA Knight leaving SmackDown yet.
Yeah, no, he won't. Yeah.
And if you're on SmackDown, that's the title that
That's
they're going
fair.
to give him.
That is fair.
And there's angles to be worked with.
But they've also...
the megastar
yeah.
versus the social media star.
Now, hold on. Doesn't Survivor Series usually push the two brands against each other?
They do, but I don't know if LA Knight... Well, LA Knight's probably not going to enter a program with Logan Paul this soon. They're
No,
probably
not
gonna-
with Paul, but Paul is on SmackDown. I'm saying
With that,
with Gunther.
with Gunther,
Maybe they could say, hey, but here's the thing. He already said in his promo on SmackDown that he's not finished with the Bloodline or Roman Reigns.
no, I believe that.
Yeah.
But I believe right now his focus is probably going to go into Survivor Series and being in a program. And this is, again, something I'm guessing. I
Yeah.
have no idea. There's nothing been announced.
Yeah.
That the Bloodline will be involved in another War Games match. And
They have
Survivor
to.
Series.
It's got to.
And somehow they're going to incorporate LA Knight into this
Yeah.
match, whatever it is.
We got
that
one
they
on
make.
Raw. We got one on Raw with what we just mentioned earlier, with the Judgment Day versus Seth and Cody and Jay and
Because you could see LA
yeah.
Knight and a reason why he would go at Jimmy
yeah
and
Sammy. Yeah.
and the and you still got the angle if they want to work it in with Solo and Cena.
Right.
So those
Right.
would be two people on the opposing sides,
Yeah.
and then
Solo and Cena on opposite sides. LA with Cena.
and we still have to see how this all forms because that's still only 3 wrestling members of a bloodline and 2 members of a possible opponent team. But I'll see how that develops. We're gonna see.
We shall see. We shall see.
SmackDown
It's
in the next
definitely
week.
intriguing because we actually don't know where they could go. That's
Yeah.
when I love wrestling the most, because when I know what's going to happen, because it's all kind of like Crown Jewel, we kind of knew what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It took the energy out of the match.
Speaking of unpredictability, Jesus.
Michael
Inner
Cole
Michael
from Syracuse.
Yes. Oh, God. I'm not going to live this episode down. But seriously, this was a really good swerve, SmackDown. Damage control.
Oh yeah,
Because, okay.
Asuka.
I kind of saw Asuka. I'm not going to lie. I kind of saw Asuka
Turning.
turning and going to damage control. Didn't expect it so soon.
Yeah.
But I kind of saw it coming. What I didn't see coming, and now this builds up to a Survivor Series matchup, which is going to get interesting, is all of damage control getting along and not doing the turn, or maybe not quite yet,
Turning on Bailey.
Bailey. Because
There's so much.
originally what I thought was going to happen,
Yeah.
and it's still out there, still a possibility,
Yeah.
is that the 3 women form a Japanese faction,
I love that.
and they end up kicking Dakota and Bailey out.
Dakota too. Wow.
Yeah. But for right now, they've got a good Survivor Series.
They got their 5 right now.
They got their 5, or even if it was 4, because Dakota, I don't know what her status is.
Yeah.
Still recovering from that injury.
So who would they fight? Charlotte, Bianca,
Bianca, and And again, there might be 2 more.
But there was but even in their match last time, there was another person helping.
Yeah, Oscar was there.
Oscar turned, but was it just the 2 of them,
was
Bianca and Charlotte? Yeah.
Yes. But I'm sure that somebody will come back from that and want to join in the fray. We can save the predictions for later.
No, for sure, yeah.
All I'm saying is that it did do a good job of setting up moving into future storylines, which was your one worry, your one criticism for past Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So this year, I'm not going to say that you were wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying this year, they've kind of addressed the concerns you have so
I know.
far.
I agree.
So how do you feel about that?
First of all, I see that coming to fruition. I think we're still a little early to really feel the magnitude of that playing with the expectations, because it's not even a week past their crown jewel, so they still got a lot of angles to develop, and including that Punk underlying angle of where is he coming in? Is there going to be a mystery opponent? What are we doing, or a mystery guest? Are they going to tease it like that? As soon as they do, I feel then everyone's going to know that's Punk.
But the right pieces are coming in place. The storylines are
That is
still
true.
carrying over. It's being done properly.
And fingers crossed, they don't veer away from that because of some panic move, because they're worried about a number or something. Let's stick to their guns. Gun club. Just kidding.
Bang bang.
But I like it. I like it. Let's see where it goes.
But I will say this too, and this adds intrigue. Like we said, there's where Punk could go. Sorry, not Punk. Even though that is also that's also in something of noteworthy mention. But Cena and LA Knight, we already kind of know what direction they're going in and how they could be incorporated if they are. Here's the question. I know this is something that you've been talking about for a while, and it's actually something that might happen. Survivor Series. Think about this. Bloodline. 3 members. You've been talking about for a while how they should be introducing a new member of the family. You think that's a possibility?
And is it going to be okay?
Could they develop that?
Yeah, they could do that. They could bring in a 4th. And also, is Jay going to then come back? But let's see. Because they kind of just let that rivalry die out. The Jay and his brother, they are not really...
I think they're going to reignite that come Royal Rumble. I think at that point they'll meet in that match and they'll cross paths again.
As long as I pray that it doesn't happen in a random way where it's like, oh, okay, we just hit the pause button on that. I don't want that.
No,
effect.
not really. They're always going to have their beef because of what happened. What I think is they're going to meet in that Rumble ring, and it's just going to.
Oh, okay, that I can see for sure.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that they're going to extend it through Survivor Series because he still has to do the Judgment Day matchup. Come Royal Rumble, these guys are going to bump heads, and then they'll start the program going into Mania.
You asked just now, is Survivor Series where you think the Bloodline introduce a new member? No, with what you just said, I think they won't. But what they will do is they will do that in the middle of the Rumble match. I think in the middle of the Royal Rumble men's or women's match, I think that's when it's going to happen, and possibly. You could have The Rock's daughter come on.
See, there's a bunch of possibilities.
There's a bunch of possibilities.
They got a big family. And they all wrestle.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah. You could have Nia Jax. I don't know if they want that.
No. Let's not go there.
Well, she's a part of the family.
No, Nia.
Okay.
No, Nia, okay? We need people to stay in the business, not get injured and leave it.
Or injure others.
Yes, that's true. So, Nia, you're not allowed this show either because you might just injure me. And I've got a long career that I want to maintain moving forward with this podcast and with my rapping. So, stay away from this podcast.
That's hilarious.
Okay? All jokes aside, Nia,
yeah.
come and defend yourself on this podcast anytime.
Anytime.
Just don't kill me.
No promises.
That being said,
I think Rock's daughter could be a potential. If you were kind of not crazy about Rock himself coming back. I don't know, even though you're a fan, but He teased it. He teased it when he came back against Theory. I don't know what.
I'm not a fan of him coming back for a title match.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Roman losing at WrestleMania and then The Rock coming in and having a program with him simply because,
So you don't want him in the title picture, okay?
well, because The Rock can't go for a title
Hey,
picture.
Logan Paul is not always in the WWE. He's got a title.
Logan Paul is not as old as The Rock.
Right.
The Rock came in, the last match he had, he tore his pectoral muscle.
Was that his last match?
Yeah, the last match that he had in the WWE, he tore his pectoral muscle.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, he can't go. As
Fair.
much as we'd love him to go,
Yeah.
his body is not the same as it was when it was at full wrestling shape.
He's in shape. He's just not in wrestling shape,
He's not
yeah.
in wrestling shape.
Yeah.
You know, he got injured in that match. And then the problem is, and here's the real problem, it's not really The Rock himself. I think if you really ask The Rock himself, he might want to do another match. The problem is he's involved with so many film franchises.
Yeah.
They have insurance policies about that. That was one of the problems with getting him back around for the first time
Yeah.
around with the run when he had the championship. They had to go through so much clearance to
Yeah.
get him past insurance because if he gets injured, he can't participate in other filming projects. That puts that at risk. So I feel like The Rock, even if he wants to come back, they got to clear a lot of red
Yeah.
tape. But, you know, that being said,
But here's the thing.
anything's possible.
If it were to happen, it should have happened during the strike, which just wrapped up. So that's when he made his surprise return on SmackDown a few weeks ago. But my point is he now did he have films that were on pause because of the strike that are now resuming?
He's the busiest actor in Hollywood.
We
so
we shall find out.
he
Yeah.
did. But, you know, that's something moving forward that we'll find out about.
So now,
Oh, by the way, you mentioned Kyrie's move.
yeah, I love that
Damage
move.
control.
Yeah.
What it actually is, I actually saw the move when and it's as it happened this time really
Yeah.
clearly. It's a chop. She does it underneath the swinging hair to give it that look that you like.
Yeah.
But it's actually a chop to like the throat area.
Right. But is it
It's a spinning
but is
chop.
it an illusion that the hair is doing it, or is it actually not hiding the fact that it's a chop?
Well, it may just be a chop, but the hair with it gives it that look.
It's amazing.
So even if it was done, even if it was a chop and they intentionally told you it was a chop,
Yeah.
it still looks very good the way she executed.
It's cinematic. That's how fucking good it is. I
So-
think it's so good. The fact that she does it and she turns and then the final positioning of the move is her just staring dead face into the camera. I love that.
Now there is one last thing I'll add to this intrigue before we move on from this match and probably just should wrap up the show.
Yeah.
Is there is the possibility that they go into Survivor Series with that 4 matchup, and that's where the Japanese turn happens.
That could be.
Because maybe they see Bailey as the weak link.
I
And
like
they
that.
decide to cut the fat. And Dakota does it. They could keep Dakota or they could get rid of Dakota. That's still.
Yeah, Dakota's
still
kind
out
of
on
lost
that.
in that.
Because she hasn't been able to wrestle. She hasn't really been a key.
She
And
shouldn't
plus,
be on TV then.
She's actually been a very supportive, versus Bailey being conflicted, she's actually been very supportive of the girls together. But I don't know how 3 Japanese ladies of that caliber and Dakota Kai are going to get into a faction.
Remember now,
But it happens.
one of the
Because Sami Zayn came into the bloodline.
That's right.
so-
That's right. So here's what I'm saying. One of the top 3 unexpected heel turns over the last 10 years, I credit to Dakota because of what she did to Knox back in that NXT takeover.
Yeah,
When
I
she
watched
remember that, and when she turned on Knox, that was one of the biggest. That was like right up there with the tag team that they turned on each other at the end of the show.
Well, she could do the turn too.
She could do the turn, is what I'm saying. Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, if you look at it with what you just mentioned with that previous storyline, Dakota Kai.
that's 5,
Dakota,
ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen. 5.
5-time
5-time fumble.
Botch Tamlin. I just got my WWE one. I got my 6. There you go. But here, seriously, what I was gonna say is that Dakota Kai could do the heel turn because she's actually good enough to be at ringside. They've already, because she wasn't there before.
Right.
She's good enough to walk around. She has mobility.
Yeah.
They just haven't cleared her to wrestle. That's what they've been waiting on.
Yeah.
We don't know if they've actually cleared her to wrestle. What if they've cleared her to wrestle right now?
And they're keeping her off for a
and they're
purpose.
keeping her out for a purpose.
The
There we go.
illusion.
Again,
Yeah.
the plot thickens.
The plot thickens. I love
There
it.
is one last thing that I would like to mention about SmackDown.
Yeah.
We'll keep this short and brief.
Go for it.
And then we're going to end the show. But I think it's worth mentioning. Man, oh man, I hate the angle that they're using with KO right now.
Oh, he's like the ring announcer and then
They have him going up against my two favorite people,
or the commentary.
Austin Theory and Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller effect sounds
He
like
just had the Grayson Waller effect. He had the match literally this week.
can I just say
No, it was, what was it? No, it was last week he had the match.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And then this week they're teasing the whole thing like if Kevin Owens gets involved, he gets suspended.
Yeah.
And he did. He attacked him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he got suspended. This is such a stupid angle.
I know.
Somebody of KO's caliber does not belong doing stupid angles with Grayson Waller
This is where I think it is. This is where I think the problem
and
lies.
Austin waste of talent theory.
Yeah, that's the theory. He's a waste.
Is that a theory?
I think that falls on KO himself. He's got enough pull now in the WWE where he can say no to things and not get in trouble. I think him accepting to do it is him accepting the lesser angles to maybe have less stress on him.
No, I understand. Sometimes you get asked to do the job, or not necessarily the job, but you're asked to give someone a rub.
Yeah.
And I understand that. Give a young person a rub, but KO should have never said.
It's got to be more creative.
KO should have never said yes to this angle.
Yeah, well.
This angle sucks.
Yeah.
Look at the way they're approaching this.
Well, he just came off of that hot tag team run with Zayn, and this is like him taking a step back to maybe then take like 3 steps forward. He needs to be in the championship.
But
run,
you know
if
what?
Ask me.
To be fair, KO is not at fault here. He's still doing a good job of what he has.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
Austin Theory and Grayson Waller need to still step up. They need to step up and prove that they even belong on the main roster.
Austin Theory and
Now,
Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller, I'll give him this. I saw him in the ring last week, and he's not that bad.
No.
He's solid, and there's still something to his character. Does he need to develop it more? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's still something to his character. So I'm not completely going to cut Grayson Waller out of this picture just yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's still something to him
Yeah.
that he needs to develop moving forward, and that's fine. But the fact that you're not even on the higher tiers of the WWE yet, and they're relying on you to, no pun intended, give the Grayson Waller rub to Austin Theory,
Yeah.
that's bad. I mean, come on, Austin. Come on, step your game up, man. Step it up.
Some people don't have it, man. It's not even his fault. He's just not meant for it. He's meant to be a mid-carder at best. Austin.
You know
Theory.
what Austin Theory looks like? He looks like a skinnier version of John Cena when he first came into the WWE when he had that match with Kurt Angle.
Ruthless aggression.
Except he's slimmer
Yeah.
and he doesn't have half the talent.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you want about Cena, okay?
Potentialless aggression.
The 5 moves of doom, yada yada. But Cena does understand ring psychology.
Cena does understand psychology. He also understands the business. He also understands how to tell a story. That
Cena is the modern day Hulk Hogan.
for sure.
Simple moveset and basically buried a bunch of people's careers. So there are a lot of parallels there.
There is.
Both at the top of the company.
Is that part of the game or is that part of the personality?
Again, that's not for me to judge.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying there are parallels there that wrestling critics and pundits could bring
There was
up.
2 times where I can remember right now where Cena got booed the shit out of the building. Money in the Bank Punk match, which was obvious, but the other one that was not as obvious, but it happened, one night stand ECW match with RVD. They said if Cena wins, we riot. You remember the signs and and they weren't kidding. They were going to do it because these were ECW original fans, like hardcore. Because
people in Philly don't mess around.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, Kelly Oubre got hit by a car the other day.
Former son.
And former son, current Sixer.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that being said, yeah, man. I'm not a fan of this angle. I hope Kevin Owens moves on to do something better. I understand why he's doing it. I'm not giving him problems. I'm just saying I don't enjoy the angle. Grayson Waller, okay. I see a little bit of development. I understand from his where he stands on the card, how this benefits him moving forward.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the guy is improving a bit.
my favorite line from
At least the
SmackDown.
fact that I'm irritated by him shows that there's a little bit something to his character.
Yeah.
Austin Theory, I could give two shits about. I could care less if he's off the show for like an entire year. I wouldn't notice. The man has no personality. Seriously, Maven had more personality during his time in the WWE than freaking
Steven
Austin
Richards
Theory.
had more personality as RTC.
Steven Richards had some personality.
No, in RTC?
Well, yeah, in RTC. Actually, I mean, even Steven Richards had...
If I could be serious for a moment.
I mean, it's still his character. He's still... That's the thing. And that's why I say give Grayson Waller a little credit. Because his character annoys me.
Yeah.
There's a character there.
Yeah.
I may not be crazy about the character, but the character annoys me. It's like when you see a bad guy on TV.
Yeah.
And or in a movie, and you really hate the guy, but you don't hate the actor. You have to give the actor props because he's doing his job.
Yeah.
I see Grayson Waller. In that.
Right.
Austin Theory, not so much. I mean,
My favorite line, and we'll end it after this, was LA Knight's promo with when Grayson Waller effect came in, and he said, "Your name sounds like an STD," and he called him, and he said, "You can't even be 50 yards from any school." That was to me. That was to me that was breaking the PG walls of WWE a little bit.
You know, the interesting thing about Grayson Waller, which is why I wasn't too, upset about LA Knight having the small hint of a program with him, is the fact that they have history in NXT.
They do.
They did have a rivalry.
Yeah.
So they didn't make much mention of it. I thought the angle, however short it was, would have been better if they had made reference to it.
Yeah, good point.
But that's it. And before we end the show, I have to mention this because I told myself I was going to mention this, but I didn't. And this is something that goes back to the damage control angle. Did you know that, and I didn't know this, but this makes this angle even more interesting. Did you know that Kairi Sane in kayfabe's storyline was taken out when she left for kayfabe
By Bailey. Yes, I know. They showed it on Raw. They showed them that Bailey was like, "This is the last time I saw her," and that.
But I didn't realize that as the match was happening at Survivor Series. I had totally forgotten about it.
Yeah. But they bring it back, which is great.
Yeah.
So that's another potential reason to turn on her because
I forgive you.
Yes, there you go. That's it. And we will not forgive you if you don't hit that subscribe button and like and comment on these podcast episodes. Subscribe to it on YouTube or on Spotify. It's on multiple podcast platforms. No reason not to. We have them now on YouTube in audio format and video format. So if you're driving and you don't want to get pulled over by a jabroni, then don't be a jabroni and listen to it on audio. And
Don't be a hacksaw with the cocaine, marijuana.
Marijuana and the 2x4, stick it up your candy asses.
Actually, now marijuana's okay, but no cocaine.
Yes, no cocaine. Stay safe. Say no to drugs like CM Punk.
Like, comment, subscribe. This has been Legend of Wrestling, and we are out.
Peace.
You're the man.
Fuck your ass!
I'm the master. Break your back.